Our awning, second time, has fallen off. Check it out, it's on the ground. Everything is shaking. Wow. I'm Brad.
And I'm Harry. We won the green card lottery, sold everything in Australia and moved to America.
We bought a truck and a repossessed camper and hit the road. We're exploring every corner of the USA to find our new home.
This is our great American adventure. Join us for the wild ride. Okay, welcome back guys to another video. It's been a couple weeks in Moab, so it's time for us to finally set sail and head somewhere new, preferably cooler. Moab's been stinking hot. So we stocked up on the groceries, got everything organized and set sail.
So we've been down in Moab looking up at these mountains called the Sals. We thought instead of doing a day trip, we'd go up and spend a night and then continue our way south. It's a bit bumpy, as you can see. We're about 20 miles off the highway and another 5 of those on the dirt, all uphill basically. But we're just on our way up to the campground now. We're just going steady so we don't break anything. So it should be a good night up in the mountains. Gosh, you know you're at altitude when your chips are about to bloody explode. Check out the view though. Today we're eating burrito wraps with a view. So we've made it to the Sals. We stayed overnight down in the campgrounds and it's now the next morning and we have made our way up, about 3/4 of the way up the hill. It's about 500 meters elevation gain. There's still some snow on the mountain behind me and there's still quite a lot of snow on the Sals themselves. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to the main Sals just due to the road being closed. But it's a beautiful day. We're just going to finish the rest of the hike up now and we'll show you once we get to the top. Alright, so it's taken us about an hour and a half to get to the top. I'll give you a quick rundown of the area we're in and what we can see. Behind me here is Canyonlands, so you can see way out in the distance there's all the different canyons. Then next across we've got Moab. You can see the city running down through sort of the valley, and then there's a river down past that. From there we've got Arches right out the back. You can't really see much of Arches just because it's so far in the distance. And then finally off to my left here we've got the scenic loop road, so even that itself is quite spectacular even though it's not a national park. Another thing that's been a bit funny for me and maybe Harry is that on the way up we obviously saw right at the bottom something that looked like bear prints, and obviously there's warnings of what are they, black bears? So now everything I see that looks dark, whether it be a tree stump, whether it be something moving, we're like, shit, it might be a bear. But luckily for us, we haven't seen one yet, so hopefully it stays that way. All right. So this summit officially marks the highest we have been in Utah, at over 11,000 feet, and it's probably the highest we're going to get whilst in Utah. All right, back to the hike. And just like that, we are back on the road again. Alright, we've just pulled up at some random thing.
Okay, well we didn't do the tour, we went inside just a souvenir shop. But the last person that lived in the rock was in the 70s. No one lives in it anymore, but pretty random. It reminds me of that town in Australia, what's it called? Where they live underground.
Oh, Cooper Pedy.
Yeah.
Similar.
We are covering a lot more ground in this video than our previous ones. We left LaSalle's, headed south to Mexican Hat, which proved to be a lot more eventful than I originally planned.
So we have just arrived at our campsite for the night. If you take a look behind me here, the place is called Mexican Hat. As you can see by the look of the actual rock, it's one of the craziest balancing rocks I've seen. To get down in here, it was pretty steep four-wheel drive, well, off-road. You probably could bring a two-wheel drive car in here, but we're certainly glad we've got four-wheel drive. Another cool thing is there's a river that runs down through here, the San Juan River. So it's hot. We're going to take a walk down and potentially go for a swim if it's all good. So. Beautiful. Oh, so refreshing. All right, so I had an awesome swim. Nice and refreshed. Head back to the van now. Certainly worth getting off the beaten track in some of these places to see what's out there other than just the main tourist attractions, that's for sure. We've had an interesting 12 hours here at Mexican Hat. Firstly, last night we were woken up at about 2 a.m. A vehicle stopped like just here basically in front of the van. We had to set off our alarm because we thought someone was going to break in, but turns out they were just looking for this track just down below us there. Not too bad, so that was all right. A little bit of lost sleep, but we also had another drama yesterday. When we were testing, inaugural testing of something that goes just up there, as you can see, there's something missing. Our awning, second time, has fallen off. Check it out, it's on the ground. Can you believe it? This is not scripted. So, at least this time we know where it is because it just fell off on the ground below the camper. We are going to put it on ourselves. Harry was definitely adamant that we should put the awning in because there was a little bit of breeze, but what happened? Brad said, just leave it out, and it fell off. So yeah, bit of a lesson. We will rebuild. All right, so she's partly in the van. We're gonna wrap some towels around it and then potentially chuck it up under the bed or lean it up in here somehow. Hopefully it doesn't damage anything on the inside. Straight under there. And if it's no good, we will put it somewhere else.
Okay, where we camped last night, it's quite rocky and there's one very steep uphill bit. And in the back, just to make sure the awning's going to be fine, and then once we're past that, I'll probably hop back in the car. Awning seems to be doing fine at the moment, but everything is shaking. Okay, happy to be back in the car.
That's good. Where are we off to?
Page. So we can fix this awning.
So we've just arrived at the famous Forrest Gump Point from the movie. You can see it's quite a popular little spot. There's a number of people here and there's also a market set up, obviously trying to sell stuff. So. We have just pulled up at Navajo National Monument, which is a free campsite, well, has a free campsite called Sunset Campground. So from here we need to fix the awning. We've just stopped back at the previous town and got some bits and pieces, and we're going to take the camper off. Okay, with the stroke of luck, the awning has gone back on unscathed. We've got one slight issue though. The bolts we bought were slightly too long, so we've had to pack it out with like a bunch of washers and other nuts to get it to be able to tighten. But so we've got one bolt holding it on at the moment, but that's still probably stronger than the system they had on before. So that's going to hopefully get us into Page. And then we'll take the camper off again, get some shorter bolts, and then bolt the other bit on so it definitely can't fall off. All right. Just another day at Brad's RV repairs. The next time this thing falls off, it's going to be taking whole wool with it.
Now, there isn't too much to do at this national monument, but it does have some cultural significance. It's home to ancient cliff dwellings built over 700 years ago by the ancestral Puebloans. These sites offer a rare glimpse into a thriving desert civilization. Camper repairs continue.
Alright, so the 3 bolts up the front have been put on. You can see one of them there, and further up, been Sikaflexed. The awning is all installed. It cannot fall off now. We got away with it, very lucky. Alright, you're right to put it in. All works as normal. No jamming. No problemo. Like I bought one. Today we're waking up in one of our favourite camping spots, Walmart car park here in Page. It was a bit of a hot night, but we survived. Today we're going to do something to hopefully cool us off a bit and something a bit adventurous. We're going kayaking. So there's Antelope Canyon, there's different parts of it. You can go on tours up the top, upper, like lower, and then the real lower area. We're going in the real lower area that's outside the Navajo Nation, so we can explore it ourselves without a guide. So let's get into it. Wow, that's got to be a new record. It'd be over 20. So we've just arrived at Glen Canyon Recreational Area, and this is Antelope Point behind me. We're going to go grab our kayaks and paddle up into Antelope Canyon. First in the water, and then we're going to put our shoes on and then walk up into the canyon.
Oh, we're going to go down there?
Yeah.
How deep it is.
Yeah, very. Don't drop your phone.
Yeah, you'll never get it back.
Alright. Starting to get into the canyon a bit now. Just having a quick break. Shoulders are a little bit sore. Oh my god, Harry just nearly gave us a heart attack because of that little lizard. Apparently that was a rattlesnake to him. Oh my god, can you not just chill? So tell them a bit about rattlesnakes.
We've been warned. There's rattlesnakes. Let's look out for them. They're highly venomous. Yeah.
So Harry's on edge. Okay, apparently there's been a rattlesnake sighting. Harry's a little bit on edge. You're right. Honestly, considering we're Aussies.
Yeah, I'm Australian, but I fucking hate snakes.
Yeah. Right, I don't know if it's as impressive as the main Antelope Canyon, but it's certainly amazing with the walls and that. How pretty is it? Wow. That's really cool. my God. Alright, so we're about half an hour in. It's been pretty spectacular. Some nice areas. We'll keep going for a little bit more and see what it looks like. Natural slip slide, I think. Parking lot full. Literally kayak parking. Oh my God. What the hell? It's the most kayaks I've ever seen, to be honest. Got my private paddler behind me, taking us for a little paddle. How good's that? Little slave. Have a break for 10 seconds before we keep smashing it out. This is by far the most paddlers we've ever seen anyway. It's just absolute peak hour here. I think it's another school group or church group coming in. Watch out. We're back in the car. What do you reckon of that experience?
2 hours paddling, 2 hours hiking. Time for some air conditioning.
We've had an eventful couple of days and we've finally managed to get everything sorted. We also got a new campground unlocked, Burger King, which was good. Now we're just heading to the west to go to our new national park, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.